going to be taking you through the 80s today. If you're new, grab your paintbrush. You're only going to need red and blue and a little fat brush. Now, I'm going to show you the colors. She can show you the colors. Just sit along, join us, and have a little fun. So as you see, oh sweet baby Jesus, cut.
Pandemic started in 1981. AIDS became a big issue in the United States. The first case of AIDS was reported in 1981. It started to rise rapidly. They started to report changes in people with AIDS. It started to rise with women and people with attributes to heterosexual transmissions. Also with homosexual transmissions. Most cases in the 1980s were with white men.
Come on, big money. Big money. Oh, more. Go. All right, 600.
Fortune started becoming popular in the 1980s after the original host Chuck Woolery was replaced by well-known Jeopardy host Alex Trebek. This sudden change skyrocketed in what is known to be the longest ongoing game show in history. Pride was starting to rise in the 1980s. It started with youth, LGBTQ youth, and LGBTQ adult. Some reasons were to avoid prosecution, to escape anarchy, also to escape ownership and debt. The most common way people killed themselves was by gun.
Today I'm here with Miss Sally Ride from NASA. So Sally, what's it like to be the first female astronaut?
Well, I feel very proud and happy to have this amazing opportunity to be working with NASA. Yes.
Wow. Bet they don't have this stuff in space, do they?
No, they really don't.
So you want to do crack?
Sally Ride was the first American woman in space. She was an astronaut, physicist, and aerospace engineer. She completed the STS-7 mission in June 1973, making groundbreaking history for women all over the world. But sadly, she died at age 63 from cancer. Crack epidemic. The significant increase in the use of crack cocaine, or crack, in the United States during the early 1980s. Crack cocaine was popularized because of its affordability, its immediately high effect, and its high profitability.
It certainly is gratifying that in the course of my present visit to the United States, I should once again be accorded the opportunity to meet with the people who understand me or misunderstand me most. The relationship between the two countries can be opened up at one of 2 points by the historian or the curious investigator into world events.
Latin America started borrowing money from U.S. commercial banks. Near the middle of 1980, the debt totaled to outstandingly $29 billion. But by the near end of 1980, the debt totaled to $159 billion. U.S. started learning their consequences about letting other countries borrowing money. And Latin America learned how not to take too much money for their own prosper.
In the past week or so, 13 separate discoveries of medical waste have been made on Rhode Island beaches, including 3 today. The health department says public safety is not at risk, but still the matter is being treated seriously, very seriously.
Hypodermics on the shore. Syringe site is when medical waste is dumped into the sea. Hypodermics are part of that. Between 1987 and 1988, both New Jersey and New York were finding tons of medical waste on the shores. Many beaches closed because of the risk of people stepping on medical waste and injuring themselves. This discouraged tourists to come to the States, and local economies struggled with their losses. Finally, officials found the cause of large amount of medical waste in Staten Island, New York. The biggest landfill was not properly disposing of medical waste and some garbage. Instead, the workers at the landfill were sending it out to sea. New York City was fined $1 billion to pay for the pollution damage and cleanup.
There was a bright flash and then everything went dark. I don't remember much.
I'm Lee Palmer, and today we have a special guest. Schmabulok, the homeless vet that lost not only his way of life,
but his homes. Do you have anything you have to say about this, Shmabby Lock?
Those teens that done hit me with their cars, and my legs got it broken. I can't walk no more.
Thank you for your time. For just $1 a day, you can help one of these homeless vets. Just call 877-424-3838. Help for homeless vets.
Homeless vets in the 1980s. Estimates of homeless veterans range from 230,000 to more than 750,000, about 2/3 of whom would serve in the beginning of the Vietnam era. Some sociologists and historians say that since it was the poor and uneducated who were drafted to fight the Vietnam War, it should come as no surprise that now are many the migrants of society.
He was New York's subway vigilante, the infamous Bernard Goetz.
You think Goetz was right? You think he's a racist? You think he's crazy?
This is not a hero. This is a shooter.
This case is really more about deterioration in society than it is about me.
Once I would have shot them all again and again.
Bernard Goetz. The 1984 New York subway shooting was an incident that took place on December 22nd, 1984, where 4 teenagers, Barry Allen, Troy Canty, Darrell Careberry, and James Ramser, were shot and wounded by Bernard Goetz on New York subway train in Manhattan.
Hey, I was listening to that. Well, this music is better. Oh, no, you did not.
Stop!
Watch out! God, I think you just hit a homeless vet.
It was a new era of music in the 1980s. It was focused on ratchet, crazy hair. It was the style of the 1980s. It was driven by the aggressive sounds and the distorted electric guitar. The most common bands in the 1980s were Led Zeppelin, Iron Maiden, and Saxon.
I put a Pepsi in the motion, but that choice is up to you. Hey, you're the Pepsi generation. Girls are down and taste the thrill of the day, and feel the Pepsi way. Taste the thrill of the day.
Rock and Roller Cola Wars, 1964 through 1989. Pepsi and Coke battle for supremacy in their marketplace. Each hired musicians to promote their drink. Coke hired Paula Abdul, while Pepsi hired Michael Jackson. They had started to try to outdo each other by getting other musicians and celebrities to promote their drinks. Martial law in 1989, people, mostly students, started to protest against how they wanted more democracy in China. The military of China and the government declared martial law. They sent out 300,000 troops in 15 trucks. They started to shoot the protesters, kill most of the protesters. The protesters also went on a hunger strike during the protest.
Okay, I got this. Soccer ball. Where's my kids?
Aiden!
Any day.
I'm Lee Palmer signing out!
This veteran, he not only lost his home in the war.
That freaking UPS truck gets on my nipples.